Our story begins with a loud voice, "Jiang Feng. Don't you dare sleep in my class." A piece of chalk flies through the air, hitting the sleeping boy on the head. The teacher steps forward with anger, holding a file in her hand. The boy wakes up in a rage, saying, "Who dares to attack the immortal emperor? Courting death." He grabs the teacher's chest, and upon seeing this, the other boys in the class start drooling, imagining the softness of her flesh. Miss Teacher, feeling her chest being grabbed, boils in anger and hits Jiang Feng with the file, saying, "Jiang Feng, what are you doing?" Feeling the pain, Jiang Feng fully wakes up, rubbing his face and thinking, "What's happening? Isn't she the senior high school teacher from my previous life?" The pain is so real. He stands up steadily, looking around, and wonders, where are the four immortal emperors? Why am I surrounded by my classmates from my previous life? Don't tell me this is an illusion from my previous life? Realizing this, Jiang Feng starts channeling some magic skill while saying, "How can a mere spell stop me? Break it." He attacks Miss Teacher, but nothing comes out of his hand. Jiang Feng feels blank, thinking, "What's going on? Isn't this all an illusion?" Seeing him make a fool of himself, the whole class bursts out laughing, saying, "I didn't know Jiang Feng was such a fool. He dares to grope the homeroom teacher's chest in front of the class. Is this guy really just sleeping stupidly? Does he really think of himself as the protagonist of a Cultivation novel?" Seeing everyone laughing at him, Jiang Feng feels embarrassed, remembering that he couldn't survive the calamity and unexpectedly got reborn into his third year of high school. Seeing Jiang Feng just standing there, Miss Teacher gets angry and asks him, "Jiang Feng, are you done?" Being reprimanded, Jiang thinks, "No one has dared to talk to me like this in the past 500 years. I almost forgot how it used to be, a poor boy who got bullied by others. But fortunately, he still has his immortal emperor powers, otherwise, it would be difficult to find the problems with Miss Teacher." Jiang Feng activates his heavenly eyes and asks her, "Miss Xia, are you sick?" Hearing this, Miss Xia gets even angrier and bursts out, saying, "Jiang Feng, you're sick? Come with me to the office." She turns around, and Jiang Feng walks behind her. On the other hand, a boy can be seen saying to a girl, "Wan Jun, why are you together with such a scum?" He even dared to flirt with his teacher. It's clear that he doesn't want to stay in the school, but you go as far as helping him with his lessons. He rests his hand on her shoulder. Hearing this, Wu Jun gets angry and thinks, "I have been trying to get rid of him for a long time, useless fella." She says to Jiang Feng, "Jiang Feng, you disappoint me so much. Let's break up." Hearing this, Jiang Feng replies, "As you wish." The whole class is shocked by his reply, saying, "Is he still the lapdog who used to lick Wu Jun? This is the first time we've seen Jiang Feng act so tough. We thought he would beg Wu Jun while kneeling down." The boy sitting next to Wu Jun stands up and asks loudly, "Jiang Feng, are you a wild dog? Wu Jun used to think so highly of you." Jiang Feng replies, "Don't act like a hero all of a sudden, class monitor Juba. If you want to hit on her, you can do as you please. Don't act nice and scold me." Hearing this, Juba gets angry and tries to attack Jiang Feng, but his friends stop him since they are in class. Looking at them, Jiang Feng thinks, "I used to get bullied by them before, but now it's all gone. They'll see who dares to bully me," and he walks out of the class. Inside the teacher's office, Miss Xia sits on the chair and says, "Come on, give me an explanation for what just happened." Seeing her figure, Jiang Feng can't control himself and thinks, "Why didn't I find Miss Xia so soft and good in my previous life?" Seeing him just standing there, Miss Xia says, "Can't explain it? Go and bring your parents." Hearing this, Jiang Feng gets serious and thinks about how his parents worked hard in his previous life and how he failed them. Now that he's reborn, he can't let them worry about him again. He says, "Miss Xia, you are really sick, and it's a chronic disease." Hearing this, Miss Xia's anger reaches its peak, and she says loudly, "Bring your parents immediately." Bearing the pressure of her anger, the disease strikes, and Miss Xia faints while clutching her chest. Seeing her fainting, Jiang Feng quickly grabs her with his hands, feeling pity that he used all his immortal powers and can only use low-level spells and the talisman method. He starts chanting something, making hand signs, and draws energy from the flowers to transfer it to Miss Xia. By healing her, he gets tired from just transferring the power from this small flower. He thinks, "It seems that I need to start practicing as soon as possible and build a foundation." Miss Xia slowly opens her eyes and asks, "Jiang Feng, just now?" Jiang Feng replies, "Miss Xia, if I'm not mistaken, you just experienced a heart attack." He helps her sit down on the chair. Hearing his answer, Miss Xia feels shocked and says, "A heart attack? No way." Seeing her worried, Jiang Feng says, "Miss Xia, I have a way to cure you, but you have to promise me that you won't call my parents." Miss Xia promises that if he can cure her, She won't call his parents. Zhang Feng replies, then it's a deal. Give me 3 days, and I will cure you. Seeing him leave, Miss Xia thinks, Zhang Feng used to be a weakling who was bullied by others, but now he looks like a different person. So bold. In the next scene, Zhang Feng is walking home when a boy comes from behind, calling his name. Zhang Feng, are you alright? What happened in the teacher's room? The boy's name is Chang Zhenji, Zhang Feng's only friend in the class. Zhang Feng replies, luckily, I escaped the calamity, and nothing happened. Hearing this, Chang Zhenji asks, Miss Xia spared you? How did you do it? Zhang Feng looks at his face and asks, what happened to your face? Was it Zhu Baji and his gang? Chang Zhenji replies, it's nothing. I'm used to it. Hearing this, Zhang Feng thinks, Zhu Baji, the son of the greatest family in Meilong City. His mother is the biggest real estate dealer in Meilong City, and his father is the mayor. Once, someone accidentally stepped on his shoes, and he broke their legs. While he's thinking, Zhu Baji blocks his path with some goons and says, isn't it Zhang Feng and his dog, 2 trashy people? Zhang Feng replies, yo, Zhu Baji, you dare to call hooligans to beat me? One of the hooligans comes in front of Zhang Feng and tries to punch him in the face. Zhang Feng easily knocks him down with just one finger, making him kneel. Feeling the power from this one finger, the hooligan trembles and says, this power. This boy must be a cultivator. He hugs Zhang Feng's legs and says, I call you daddy. Bowing in front of daddy isn't shameful. Seeing him hugging his legs, Zhang Feng tries to get rid of him and says, I don't want a son like you. Get away. After releasing Zhang Feng's legs, Lu Bo-wang turns around and starts questioning, who's blind and tried to attack my daddy? He goes in front of Zhu Baji and punches him in the face, saying, now I'm not afraid of you. My daddy is a pro. He starts fighting with the other hooligans. Seeing this, Zhang Feng turns to Chang Zhenji and says, you can go home first. It's getting late. I will take care of everything here. Chang Zhenji leaves. After beating Zhu Baji and his party, Lu Baoguang comes in front of Zhang Feng and says, Master, please take me as an apprentice. I want to be a cultivator. Zhang Feng replies, your talent is too poor. You're incapable of being taught. I can't accept you. He departs from there. In the next scene, Zhang Feng is outside his aunt's house, walking towards it while deep in thought. He wonders, can it be that there are other cultivators on Earth as well? He opens the door and is greeted by a loud voice from inside. Zhang Feng, do you have the face to come back? Zhang Feng enters the house, where a girl points at him and says, what you did at school has spread even to her class. You are a disgrace to our family. She is Zhang Feng's cousin. A woman wearing an apron scolds her for speaking to Zhang Feng that way. She is Zhang Feng's aunt. A man reading a newspaper reprimands her, saying, he was a loser from the start. What's wrong with what our Xiaowei is saying? Observing all the drama, Zhang Feng calmly says, Andy, it's all right. Thank you for taking care of me for so long. I'm going to leave now, so I won't trouble you anymore. His aunt tries to stop him from leaving, but her husband tells her, he's a grown-up. What can happen to him? He reassures her, don't worry, nothing will happen. I can take care of myself. Zhang Feng leaves the house, thinking to himself, I won't be coming back here, and heads to the park. He sits down on a bench and says, it was cool leaving like that, but now I can only sleep in the park. Just then, he hears a voice asking for help. A girl is pleading with some ruffians, saying she has no money and begging them to let her go. One of the ruffians lecherously comments on her body, saying, it's okay if you don't have money. You can accompany us. And don't worry about the money. Yeah, this body is splendid. Zhang Feng walks in and recognizes the girl as Chen Sheking, the school babe. The ruffians ask him not to meddle in their business. Zhang Feng pretends not hearing them clearly. The ruffian gets angry and throws a punch. He easily subdues the ruffian and makes him kneel down. Another ruffian pulls out a knife and attacks Zhang Feng, but he swiftly slaps him in the face, sending him crashing to the floor. Chen Sheking, astonished, exclaims, he's so strong. Zhang Feng asks if she's alright, and she replies that she is and thanks him. Zhang Feng asks if she knows him, to which Chen Sheking responds that she has seen him at school but he looks even more handsome now. Curious, Chen Sheking asks why he is in the park late at night. Zhang Feng explains that something happened, and now he is homeless. Chen Sheking offers him a place to stay at her house. In the next scene, inside Chen Sheking's big house, she asks Zhang Feng if her house is alright and then takes him upstairs to his room. She shows him the room next to hers. After showing him the room, she says, I'll go and take a bath first, and leaves. Inside his room, Zhang Feng imagines Chen Sheking taking a bath and tries to stop his thoughts from going in that direction. Zhang Feng starts preparing food and serves it on a plate. Chen Sheking comes downstairs wearing a bathrobe after taking a shower. Seeing her sexy figure, Jiang Feng is stunned in place. Chen Sheking waves her hand in front of him, saying, "Come to your senses." Jiang Feng recovers and feels embarrassed, saying, "You're too pretty." Chen Sheking smiles and replies, "And you're too realistic, so cute." She asks if the food is grilled and starts eating. After the meal, Jiang Feng is in his room, sitting cross-legged on the bed, selecting a good cultivation method. The spiritual energy is too weak, and he realizes it is not enough to support high-level cultivation. He starts cultivating, but after a whole night, he only manages to collect a small amount of genuine energy. He looks outside the window, seeing the sunrise, and thinks, it's the perfect time for cultivating martial arts skills. He starts practicing in the garden area and accidentally discovers a spiritual rock that can help him cultivate faster. After a while, his phone rings, and he answers the call. It's Zenji on the other end, asking why he is calling so early on a Saturday. Zenji informs him that the big guy from yesterday died. Jiang Feng is stunned upon hearing the news. In the next moment, inside a cafe, Chang Zenji tells him that Zhu Baji sent him a message in the morning, saying that Lu Guang was killed by his little brothers. Jiang Feng replies, "Zhu Baji's little brothers are too ruthless." Chang Zenji expresses his fear, but Jiang Feng reassures him, saying he doesn't have to worry. He pats Chang Zenji on the shoulder and tells him that if they are targeting someone, they will do it openly. He adds that he is not weak. After the meeting, Jiang Feng returns to Chen Shiking's house. Outside, a man wearing a white suit and holding flowers stands next to his car. Chen Sheking comes out of her house, visibly angry, and confronts the man, Liang Dezhao. She tells him repeatedly not to bother her and that she will not be his girlfriend. Liang Dezhao pleads with her, showing sincerity and promising to give her everything. At that moment, Jiang Feng walks in, coughing to get their attention. Chen Sheking is overjoyed to see him and grabs his arm while leaning on his body. She asks softly, "Where did you go? I couldn't find you in the morning." Jiang Feng apologizes, explaining that he went to see his friend without informing her to avoid disturbing her. Liang Dezhao, seeing this, points his finger at them and asks, "You guys are living together? Who is this wild boy?" Jiang Feng introduces himself politely, saying, "Hello, I'm Jiang Feng." Liang Dezhao narrows his eyes upon hearing the name and says, "So you're that Jiang Feng?" He angrily questions Chen Sheking about why she would choose someone poor like him and how he is better than Liang Dezhao. Chen Sheking angrily replies that even if Jiang Feng has nothing, he is still better than Liang Dezhao. Liang Dezhao regains his composure and invites them to a party that night with bad intentions. Chen Sheking accepts the invitation and promises they will be there on time. Liang Dezhao provides them with the address and then leaves in his car. Seeing him depart, Chen Sheking thanks Jiang Feng for helping her in this situation while blushing. She says that he has to help her to the fullest, and she will make arrangements for tonight. In the next scene, outside the hotel, a car arrives, and Chen Sheking and Jiang Feng step out, dressed in beautiful clothes. As they emerge from the car, people begin praising Chen Sheking for her beauty and inquire about the handsome guy beside her. The crowd comments on how well they suit each other, and they enter the hotel together, laughing. Inside, Liang Dezhao welcomes them and informs Chen Sheking that he has prepared her favorite French cake, which he will bring to her. However, Chen Sheking insists that Jiang Feng will accompany her and tells Liang Dezhao that he doesn't need to bother. Liang Dezhao, looking at Jiang Feng, expresses surprise at his transformed appearance, commenting that he didn't expect him to look so good in different clothes. Jiang Feng modestly responds, accusing Liang Dezhao of being pretentious and acting superior, unlike himself. Hearing Jiang Feng's remark, Liang Dezhao becomes angry and approaches Jiang Feng, grabbing his collar. Concerned, Chen Sheking hurriedly asks what he's doing and asserts that Jiang Feng is her friend. She warns Liang Dezhao that if he continues behaving this way, they might as well leave. Just then, a girl with yellow hair appears, holding a glass, and recognizes Chen Sheking. She looks at Jiang Feng and asks who the attractive person next to her is. Jiang Feng introduces himself, saying, "Hello, I'm Jiang Feng. Nice to meet you, Campus Belle." The girl exclaims, realizing that he is the same Jiang Feng who was dumped by Wan Jun. Jiang Feng confirms her statement, and the girl greets him while thinking to herself that someone so talented with such a strong aura doesn't seem like the good-for-nothing described in the rumors. As they engage in a lively conversation, Liang Dezhao interrupts, reminding them that the show is about to begin and leaves the area. After a while, the lights dim, and Liang Dezhao appears on stage with a microphone. He thanks everyone for their support and announces that he will present a treasure, the latest product from their company. He introduces the product, called the Heart of Love, made from African gems and designed by a renowned artist. Liang Dezhao states that the product will be available for purchase at the event, representing the perfect choice for men to give to their girlfriends. He reveals that the starting price is 300 million. Upon seeing the gem, the women in the hall start praising its beauty. Zhang Feng, observing the gem, notices something peculiar. The campus belle beside him remarks that the blue gem is indeed unique but feels that there's something strange about it. Intrigued, Zhang Feng asks if the campus belle has any thoughts, secretly wondering if she, too, has sensed the gem's spiritual power. The campus belle brushes it off, claiming it was just a random observation, while contemplating that the sensation she felt is similar to when her grandfather discovered that legendary item. On the stage, Liang Dashao suggests everyone to participate in the following activities, acknowledging that not everyone may have brought money for an auction. The crowd eagerly asks about the activities and praises Liang Dashao's thoughtfulness. A soothing musical sound begins to play, and someone exclaims that it is the beauty named Full Moon performing a traditional instrument. Never expecting her to perform at this event. Hearing the music, Zhang Feng remarks that it is truly captivating. Full Moon concludes her performance, and the audience applauds her. She stands up, bows to everyone, and receives their admiration. After Full Moon's performance, Liang Dashao takes the stage, announcing that he will also perform a solo. However, to make it more delightful, he proposes a competition with Zhang Feng. Fortunately, Miss Full Moon is present and can act as the judge. Liang Dashao challenges Zhang Feng, asking if he dares to join. Angrily, Chen Sheking confronts Liang Dashao, stating that everyone knows he excels at folk instruments, making it unfair to compare him to Zhang Feng, who hasn't even touched one before. Witnessing the dramatic scene, Zhang Feng agrees to the challenge but proposes a condition: if he wins, Liang Dashao must call him Grandpa and give him the love gem. Liang Dashao, boiling with anger, questions if Zhang Feng has the audacity to say such things and threatens him with death. Zhang Feng calmly responds that he is willing to give his life if he loses. He walks toward the stage, and both girls blush, marveling at his handsomeness. On the stage, Liang Dashao presents a contract, stating that it's a life and death contract to prevent anyone from backing out later. Both Zhang Feng and Liang Dashao sign the contract. Zhang Feng then suggests that Liang Dashao, as the owner, should perform first. Liang Dashao proceeds with his performance, and the crowd praises his talent with instruments. Once he finishes, Liang Dashao asks Zhang Feng to perform next. Zhang Feng walks to the stage and begins his performance. As the music resonates, both girls feel captivated, and Full Moon exclaims, feeling the uniqueness of the tune. Zhang Feng continues his performance, eliciting cheers from the crowd. People comment that he is great, no less than Full Moon herself. Liang Dashao feels his anger rising. After Zhang Feng's performance, Full Moon states that his skills surpass even the masters and asks him to accept her as his apprentice. The audience expresses their amazement, while Zhang Feng reflects on how his master used to play this tune for him every day, helping him condense his spiritual energy. He hopes they will meet again. Zhang Feng politely declines Full Moon's offer, stating that he is very busy and wouldn't have time to teach her. Full Moon grabs his hands, pleading with him to reconsider, expressing her sincere desire to learn from him. Feeling her sincerity, Zhang Feng says that he's really busy and she might have to wait for a long time. Hearing this, Full Moon replies that she can wait. Seeing this, seething with anger, Liang Dashao approaches them and asks, "Who do you think you are?" It's his fortune that Miss Full Moon admires him so much. Zhang Feng calmly replies, "Liang Dashao, you probably haven't forgotten our promise. If you're so urgent to remind me, Miss Full Moon has already judged my skills. Do you have anything to say?" Hearing this, Liang Dashao feels embarrassed as he tries to bend his knees. Just then, the campus belle walks in and says, "Zhang Feng, I think it's all right. It was just a joke, you don't have to take it to heart. Don't be so serious." Hearing her words, Zhang Feng agrees and says, "All right, I'll agree because of Miss Chu Qing." Liang Dashao loudly denies this and insists that he doesn't need any pity, remaining determined to keep his promise. He bends down on his knees, calling Zhang Feng Grandpa, causing everyone to burst into laughter. Amid the laughter, Zhang Feng replies, "Yes, you are a good grandson." Hearing this, the laughter intensifies. After receiving the love locket, Zhang Feng thinks to himself, as expected, this one has spiritual power. He turns to Chen Sheking and says, "Come, this is for you." Chen Sheking exclaims, "This is for me?" She continues, expressing her gratitude but feeling unsure about accepting such a precious gift. Zhang Feng steps in front of her and reassures her, saying, "It's all right. I want it for you," as he presents the love gem. Chen Sheking feels happy and thanks him, expressing how much she likes it. Overwhelmed with joy, she kisses him on the lips. Meanwhile, witnessing their kiss, Chu Qing quietly leaves the scene. And this is how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well, guys, if you liked this video and want a part 2, comment below with the word part 2. Also, in the future, I'll be bringing more and more exciting videos.